I'm Jim Gordon, and I'm here at the offices of the Richmond Sentinel to bring you an important segment on the 2022 municipal elections here in Richmond. We've invited all the candidates to share with you, our viewers, why they're running and who they are, and why they want to serve the city of Richmond. Every candidate that accepted our invitation will be given the opportunity to share their views. Get to know the candidates here in Richmond and make an educated decision before you vote. Now, let's get started. A familiar face here in Richmond is Councillor Bill McNulty, running again with One Richmond. Bill, I've interviewed you many times, but that is a compliment to how many years you've been in this game. Tell our viewers a bit about yourself and why you're choosing to run once again.
Well, thanks, Jim. It's important that we have experience in leadership with vision on council. Richmond's a vibrant and a diverse city, and I'm very committed, as always, to working for you to keep it safe, keep it prosperous, affordable, and sustainable.
3 questions. Everyone's getting the same questions. Let's talk about crime and safety. Bill, you've been around a long time. This is a growing concern among citizens, not just here in Richmond, but every other city in BC and the Lower Mainland. How are you going to address this growing concern?
We address it on a daily basis. We have one of the biggest challenges right now is mental health.
Right.
We need to admit it. And there are hate crimes out there. There's racism out there. We need to address that. But we also need to address some other things like pedestrian safety, cycling and traffic safety. People tend to forget that. And more importantly, we have to make a commitment to our first responders to improve the response time to people so that they feel comfortable and that they perceive the city to be safe. With that comes along with reduced crime, reduced break and entry, reduced other areas. But also we have to include the police complement out in Hamilton. We've got people going out there on a spot basis, but we have to have a permanent station in Hamilton. And I'm committed to make sure that we build that.
Another big issue federally, provincially, and of course municipally is affordable or attainable housing. Whatever word you want to put in front of housing, it's a concern for citizens. Please address that important challenge.
Well, one of the things we need to do right off the bat is impress on the provincial and federal governments to make contributions toward it. They talk a good line, but they do not contribute the dollars and cents. The city's holding up its end. We do have affordable housing. We have the Stories, we have the Kiwanis that we put money in. We just opened up the Astor yesterday, as a matter of fact, where we have 50 beds, or 40 beds, I should say, for homeless, and brought them off the street and gave them a home. We have the Pork Chop at Alderbridge Way. It's very important, though, to look at affordable rental housing. And that goes from the low end of Lemur and subsidized right through to market rental. But we've got to get that middle group, that middle band of people that are looking for just a 2-bedroom housing with 1 or 2 kids, want to stay in Richmond. We want people to work in Richmond and live and stay in Richmond. And that's something I committed to make sure that we have more of them. Yesterday, we passed a development with 330 new units, all rental, and we're continuing that way.
Last question. It's yours to talk about another issue that's on your mind and how you want to address it.
Well, I think Richmond is not, I won't say a wealthy community, but people always talk about taxes. So I want to continue maintaining a solid financial position, which enable Richmond to provide excellent services and improves infrastructure within the city of Richmond. And that's why we want to live here.
He's Bill McNulty, a longtime councillor here with One Richmond. He's running for re-election again. Bill, thank you for joining us today.
Jim, thank you.
And that does it for this edition of the Richmond Sentinel Spotlights on the candidates that are running in the next election, October 15th. Please educate yourself and vote on that day. For more details, and if you want to see more videos, please go to the Richmond Sentinel website. It's richmondsentinel.ca.